Hey gang, we are here for Talking the Orville live explosion. Tonight we are talking about Shadow Realms, a scary episode of the Orville, episode 2 of New Horizons, you guys. And whoa, there was a couple of jump scares in this episode that made me freak out a little bit. There was a couple of scary faced monsters that made me freak out a little bit. There was a red shirt that had his teeth and his face changing right before my eyes. And when his teeth started moving, I started getting a little grossed out a little bit. This was quite the sci-fright episode of the Orville, and I absolutely loved it, and we're going to talk about it, and I want to know what you think about it. And I also want to say hello to everybody all around the world as we enjoy the new season of the Orville together. I've been working on the latest episode of the official companion series Talking the Orville for Shadow Realms, just getting a few more things put together. I got the script written, I got some bits and bops made to put into the episode. This week's special guest will be Jessica Zor. We'll talk to her a little bit about being Tala and kicking some booty in this season, which apparently she's going to be doing a lot of this season. But we finally got to see her get some hand-on-hand combat going on in this episode, which I was so glad to see, though I did tell her that I can't wait to see her tear into some Kalon. I hope that happens. I'd love to see her and Alara get together, Halston Sage, and double team a couple battalions of Kalons with their bare hands, just ripping them apart. What do you guys say? What's going on, Rick Rarick, official channel member, Curtis Tate, official channel member. Sometimes I talk too fast, you guys. Brian Dawkins, official channel member. Kylie Pratt, down under in Australia, official channel member. Chronicasha Productions, how's it going, Matt? Archmage Frey, and all the rest. Thank you very much for that super chat, Chris Ray. I very much appreciate it. Let me get my desktop audio on so that when people super chat, it does a nice little sound drop to let me know in case I miss it. One Orville for all. Oh, Rick Werrick says, great pronunciation of my last name. Most people mess it up. They probably say, Raw Rick. Hey, Raw Rick. I kind of like how horror tropey the show was, because they were so consistent with it, and it had me yelling at the characters on the screen, which is how schlock horror is supposed to work. That is how it's supposed to work. That's what the Orville does, is they take a genre of science fiction or storytelling and they pay an homage to it. Very much like in the season 1 episode Firestorm, which was a scary episode. This one was scary in a different way. We actually it was a creature feature for the most part. And so now you guys have been introduced to what the Orville calls the arachnids. And I know a lot of us want to know, will we be seeing the arachnids again? We did have that ending that was left open, just like many amazing episodes of the Orville. They leave it open to keep us wondering, will they show up? They did it with Talia in the Krill episode when she said, talking about the kids and Ed not killing the kids and the kids not being his enemy. She said, they will be. And lo and behold, she came back, and we're hoping she comes back again. I like space spiders, but I love space vampires even more. Someone's got a birthday coming up. Oh, I have a birthday coming up this month. Are you talking about me? I do have a birthday. The 4th episode of New Horizons will be available in my time zone on my birthday. The last hour of my birthday I will spend watching the Orville. And that's a great way to celebrate, I think. Foreshadowing. Ha 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 ha. Oh, we will see them again. Vice Admiral Spiderface. Oh, well, that's another good point. Vice Admiral Spiderface, Paul Christie, played by James Reed. I think that's how you say his last name. James Red kind of sounds, that's the past tense of his name. Spiderface will return with an army of arachnids to help fight the Kalon. due to his love for Claire. Now, I still did not feel like he necessarily remembered Claire being in his new form, phase 2 of the arachnid species. There are 4 phases. We only saw 2. I would hate for them to... There's a lot more about the arachnids that you guys don't know, or at least didn't find out in the episode, but there is more lore to that race that was not shown to us. So that makes me think maybe they will show up again, at least in a small form. I'm not very scared of the arachnids. They're pretty damn killable from what I've seen. Though the upper phases, what we saw was phase 2. There are 2 more phases after that. Phase 3, they start, besides having a stronger immune system, they have organic biological body armor. And then on phase 4, they're even stronger and have even better body armor, and they have biological weapons, the arachnids. They have these biological guns that shoot these weird caterpillar things into you that explode. We did not see that, but they exist in the Orville's lore, in their canon. So hopefully we will see them again and see some of the other cool things that these scary arachnid people can do. Ailing Salisbury, I don't know if I got your first name right.
Sweet emotion.
I'm thinking Eiling or Iceling. Iceling. Could be Iceling or Eiling. Either way, it's a wonderful name. Canceled seeing Bob's Burgers to be here. Hey, thank you. But there's plenty of times for Bob's Burgers, as we have to talk about how awesome this was. Still coming down. I mean, just wow. It reminded me of classic X-Files with a touch of Buffy. So awesome. I love Buffy so much, and I can totally see what you're talking about. Pranakasha Productions, super duper chat. Thank you, Pranakasha Productions. Thank you, Matt. Very much appreciated. Yeah, this episode, and I said this in my off-the-cuff review of it, though I do have my highly entertaining, scripted, highly edited version of a review coming out very soon with the companion episode. I loved the classic sci-fi-ness of the creature makeup, of the sets of the alien ship. They didn't do just some green screen thing like a lot of shows do nowadays. They actually had a set, and I loved that so much, because that for me, someone who grew up on classic sci-fi, on classic Star Trek, TNG, all that great stuff, it brought back that feeling I used to have back in those days when I was younger, which actually makes me believe a set helps me believe a situation more than a green screen does. But, you know, it's different generations. Yeah, the Orville has no transporters. There are transporters that exist in the universe, but the Union does not have transporters. They don't have that technology as of yet. Pranagashi says, OMG, creature features. That's when I saw my first Godzilla movie back in the 70s. One creature feature that I think of, that I always remember, I hark back to in my young days, was Critters 2, which starred Scott Grimes, the very young Scott Grimes. And when I first saw the Orville, I was like, who's that guy? He looks so familiar to me. And I didn't remember him from other things. I remembered him as that kid in Critters 2. And I didn't pay attention to any of his stuff between Critters and the Orville, but I recognized him even though he was all grown up. Love John's defensive use of the brig. That was pretty cool. It actually took me a second during this scene when he ran to the brig and turned on that energy field. I didn't even understand what side he was on. I go, is he trapped or are the aliens trapped? Turns out he was trapped. Oh, wow. But at first I thought the aliens are trapped, and I was like, damn, that's really smart, John. Of course, he's the second smartest person on the ship after Isaac. Kylie Pratt, thank you so much for that super chat. Hail Avis for making the Orville #1 in Australia after 1 week. Also #1 in Canada, by the way, you guys. Let's hope Avis is happy to keep the Orville there for back-to-back weeks in the streaming series. Hail Avis. Hail victory. Yes, the Orville was number one. So far, we know. I'm sure more numbers will be coming in. The Orville is number one in Australia, number one in Canada. I'm sure tomorrow there's going to be a lot more countries coming out. Very interested to see what America, the United States of A, there's two Americas, but the United States of A part of America, I can't wait to see their numbers, because those are the Hulu numbers, and I'm sure they're going to mean a lot towards the renewal of the series. But number one in these two countries makes me think the Orville will be at least in the top three in all the other countries, if not number one. The first episode made sense. It's been so long since we've seen the Orville. People wanted to tune in. The second one, people are loving the episode. I have no idea what the numbers are for Shadow Realms. I cannot wait to see what the reaction is for next week's episode, Mortality Paradox. And without giving anything away, I will give you homework. Ooh, but it's a tough one, because I'm not going to give you super specific homework, because that might give away the reveal of next week's episode, which is the most my favorite type of sci-fi that there is, and the Orville is doing this type of episode. I won't tell you what kind of sci-fi, but it's my favorite type of sci-fi. The homework is to watch a particular episode of season 1 of the Orville, which will apply to next week's episode of the Orville, but I can't tell you which episode to watch, because that'll give it away, and I don't want to spoil anything, because it comes out of nowhere and you're like, what? So I won't ruin that for you, but there is an episode of season 1 that applies to next week's episode. You don't have to watch it. If you've never seen the Orville, next week's episode is the first one you see. You don't have to watch it, but you will be missing out on some of the inner Orville lore that goes along with next week's episode. But what about those horrible VFX? I noticed no horrible VFX, so I don't know what to say about that. Brandon Fayette, who makes all the horribly wonderful VFX for the Orville. Welcome to the show, Brandon. It's great to see you. Hope to talk to you soon. Everyone give a hand to Brandon. He makes all the pew-pews and explosions for the Orville, along with a lot of other wonderful people that he gets to work with. Orvillians do not use transporters for spiritual reasons. Brandon's watching. I love how featured Claire is so far this season. So she's practically the show's lead. Her fingers are in everyone's puddings. Pudding sounds really good right now. Claire is, of course, a wonderful part of the show, played by Penny Johnson-Gerald. She is not featured. She's got some great stuff in next week's episode, but she's definitely not the lead of next week's episode. She's not the focus of next week's episode, which can be heartbreaking, because anytime that she's the lead, everybody loves it. It's always going to be a great story. Mark Lawrence, thank you so much for that super chat. Sound check. So we should rewatch season 1. Got it. Might as well watch the whole thing. Today, the Orville. Oh, Brandon says we are on break before Seth's arrival. Seth is showing up. Yeah, Mad Idolatry features transporters. The episode Priya also features transporters. And I believe the Command Performance, the Caliban Zoo side of things, kind of features a transporter as well. That's what caught Ed and Kelly. That's what sent them to the Caliban Zoo, or at least helped get them there. What was I going to say? I was talking about something, wasn't I? Someone's going to remind me. I saw transporters and I got distracted, because there's no way I'm not going to talk about transporters. Is the episode from season 1 odd or even numbered? Oh, that's a good one. Thank you, random username. You guys, that's a fun game. It is. Ooh, I could play around with that, actually. Okay. Yes, okay. It used to be an odd number, but it eventually became an even number. Boom. Put a little cryptic message in there. Then you guys will know what it is. Ryan Linder, what's going on? What's up? Ooh, don't know yet. Can the arachnids turn any organic? I was wondering what would happen with Yaphet. Ooh, a jelly arachnid. That sounds gross, actually. But that's a very good question. I bet you, though, they go really deep into this. The Orville goes really deep into the stuff they show. Everything that you've seen in the Orville and all the seasons, they have a lot more. They really develop this stuff before they put what limited amount they want to put on the screen. They really live and breathe these characters in these situations. I am betting that even the Orville doesn't know if Yaphet is susceptible to the Borganics, as some of us have come to call them. Calivan, Zancon, and the unnamed species from the multiphasic planet are the 3 confirmed uses of teleporters, or users of teleporters. Yeah, so the technology exists. Priya used it. I loved Priya's version. It was very digital looking, very pixelated looking way to transport. The Caliban version was kind of just a bright light. Also, the multiphasic people was kind of a bright light with a little swooshy going on. But also the Caliban version could have been just a bright light to make it easier to showcase that, you know, they were zapped away. Hey, JP, would you take a job working on Seth MacFarlane's marketing team? Of course I would. They probably wouldn't hire me, though, because I already do that for free. When it comes to the Orville. Why pay for the cow when you're getting the milk for free? But yeah, I would love, I'm kind of a lifelong fan of marketing. I've never went to school for anything, but I've always paid attention to the way things are marketed. Commercials, billboards, posters. For some reason, that's something that's always caught my eye. I always look at it and I think, what were they thinking when they created that? Not necessarily a bad way or a good way. Just in a, what's going on? What are they trying to accomplish with the way that they did this? And now I've had so much experience marketing just by doing my YouTube channel and trying to help the Orville out any chance that I get. The transformation was pretty extensive and don't seem to take on the host's attributes. I don't know, they looked identical to me. But how quickly the transformation would happen. So some sort of virus or something like that infects you at first if you go onto the alien ship. Something that was not detected when they did their scans. When they did their scans before going to the alien ship, everything seemed A-okay. Yeah, breathable air, everything seems safe. You're going to be good, go on there. And even when Kelly tried to touch the wall, I believe it was Claire said, don't touch the wall. It's probably not a good idea. And Kelly's like, oh yeah, all right. Thanks for looking out. And nothing was touched. Even Vice Admiral Christie didn't touch anything. He was just looking at it, and it opened up. It just opened up. We didn't see anything emitted from it at all. It didn't seem like it did anything, but it did do something. It was that microscopic. And even when they came back, the body scanners did not detect anything abnormal, but there was something abnormal. Their scanners were not able to detect it. And then when they went back, of course, they wore their safety gear. They're like, oh, stuff's going on that we don't know about. We better wear safety gear. But I don't even know if the safety gear would have helped them. They even said there was no DNA of the host left, didn't they? I think that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't think Admiral Christie's consciousness was still in the vessel of that creature at all. I don't think it was there. Just because he listened and talked back to the threat that was being administered to him, I don't think he remembered Claire, even though she thought he might, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. There's no proof that he had any memory of her. I will have to go back and look, because maybe I'm wrong. I have to go back and look at the dialogue. The dialogue wasn't much. It was just like, I am trying to talk to you, and I am going to turn you. Oh, we'll go, but not forever. We'll be back. You know, an idle threat. We'll see. You heard a puff of air when it opened. I could see that happening, but I didn't see anything come out. But why would you see anything? You can't see COVID. What's up, lone puppy? Hi, folks. Better late than never. There were white blood cells, so there has to be DNA. Spider DNA. Never go into anything that looks like a cave. There's always spiders there. I know that from playing video games. If you're going to go into a cave in a video game, there's going to be spiders. If it's an ice cave, you're going to have ice spiders. That's just always the case. Yeah, he left when threatened. He understood that he could not fight a simple virus. So he went to his people, which were coming. I want to know more about that. They left. We don't know how they left. Can they breathe in space? Did their ship come and pick them up? How did they leave? That I don't need to know, but it would be nice to know, but I definitely don't need to know. I can just figure it out. I can make it up, or I can wait and see if there's an update to what happened. Which, as we know with the Orville, there are updates. Next week, you're going to get an update on something that you care about. I cannot wait to see what you guys say. But even without that update, the adventure that is had next week is pretty damn awesome. I've said this, some of you have heard. Next week's episode is my favorite episode of the Orville series-wide. Series-wide. And it's not because of the wonderful characters that we know and love, but it's because the type of adventure they have. Things are just getting started. These first two episodes were just testing the water. Whether you love them as much as I do or not, they're just they're just digging in a little bit. They're saying, hey, we're here, you guys. And then next week, oh, they go crazy. And even next week's episode, I know, is not nearly as big and crazy as the following episodes after that. We are in for a ride. Oh yeah, Identity 1 and 2 from last year were amazing. They blew my mind. They weren't my favorite episodes last season. They were favorite episodes. But I mean, I really love story episodes. But next week's episode is sci-fi, science fiction story, classic style. JP drinking his moonshine out of a jar. That's right. That's what we have. We have jars. I used to have glasses, and then I found a wonderful woman a couple years ago, and she has moonshine glasses. So now that's what I drink my bubbly water and Mio out of when I have it. Yeah, maybe they borrowed a shuttle. That does happen. And I'm sure they can automatically recall. The Orvilles probably can automatically recall that shuttle to come back home. I was hoping they get out the antiseptic gel to spread all over each other, but it's a family show after all. Like Enterprise. Yeah, they're not rubbing each other's body parts down on the Orville. Sometimes. Yaphet's been around from what I hear. Bortus has been around. Derulio's been around. Oh, of course. Hey, Tom, how you doing? Of course I have that chat mug. That's for coffee. I have coffee in the morning. John's been around. Very good, Todd Lehman. Official channel member. What's going on, Todd? Yeah, I got my Geloja juice. Oh, next week's episode. I cannot wait to see what you guys say. Hey, class. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, John is around. I'm trying to remember the actress's name who played that Tequilian last week's episode. Oh, I've looked her up a couple times. I know her name. Alexis something? I can't remember. I'm sure some of you guys have looked her up as well. They can tell me. I've looked her up a bunch of times. I was going to do a whole little thing about her at some point. That's it. That's exactly what I was thinking, Patrick. Alexis Knapp is the woman who played the Tequilian. I don't know if the Tequilian, I can't remember. I think she had a name as well, but I don't remember what it is at this point. Stacy from Pitch Perfect. I do know she was in Pitch Perfect. I didn't know what character she played. Pitch Perfect is one of Jessica's favorite movies. My fiance Jessica, not Jessica Zor. Well, maybe it is Jessica Zor's favorite. I have no idea. I'm actually hoping to hook up with Jessica Zor maybe next week to do another interview. Fingers crossed that all the schedules work out. These are busy people. Everyone in the Orville, all the actors and some of the and John Cassar and other executive producers are out promoting right now. Some of them are going off to different countries doing IMAX screenings of the Orville. So they are hard to nail down at this point. The Dakili may have a name. I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere. There's one on IMDb, but there's no independent confirmation. And unfortunately, it wouldn't be the first time someone made up a name for a character. That's true too. You got to be careful with some of these websites. IMDb, right now I'm going with their information, but they're not always correct because it's just like Wikipedia. Anybody can go on there and make some changes. Aurelia was her name. I remember that. Yes, Aurelia. I will confirm from my latent memory banks that is her name. Aurelia. Oh, Huey B is at work, can't stay. Love y'all. Praise the algorithm. And Avis. Thank you very much. Praise Avis indeed. Later this episode, according to IMDb, we have 2 episodes of a two-parter for this season called The Word of Avis Part 1, The Word of Avis Part 2. I do know that officially and initially, those episodes were supposed to be called Twice in a Lifetime and Among the Graves, something like that. But according to IMDb, they are now called The Word of Avis Part 1 and The Word of Avis Part 2. I'm pretty sure I know one of the things that's going on in one of those episodes, which I can't talk about right now, but we will talk about it, and I'll have a whole story to tell once the scene in whatever episode they put it in occurs. We'll talk about it. Yeah, Aurelia. That's the name that I saw. Alexis Knapp. Look her up. Watch her stuff. Like her stuff on social media. I'm pretty sure she probably has a social media. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm guessing most people in the entertainment have to have some sort of social media somewhere. Patrick's Union Point Dropout. It's for the wiki. Wiki, what? If it wasn't obvious. Yeah, there was the comic issues called The Word of Avis Part 1 and 2. Great episodes. In those episodes, we come across a group of Union scientists who start to become, Ed and Gordon find the Ancana. They take a bunch of scans of it, send it to be studied. The people who studied it started believing in it. The silly old Ancana. They started believing in it, and Talia was there. She started teaching those people because she was in Union jail. She started teaching those scientists the words of Avis. They started following it, became fanatics, thought they would be accepted in Krill society. They actually let Talia escape. When we come across Talia in season 2, these were the people that let her escape from Union prison or whatever you want to call it. And I can't remember what happened to those people. Things got their asses handed to them. They realized they were stupid at some point for believing all that stuff. But anyway, as far as IMDb goes, there's a two-part of The Word of Avis, and we saw all that Krill scenery going on in the season 3 trailer. I'm guessing those are the episodes where we actually visit the Krill homeworld. JP has the Ancana. Well, I have one page of the Ancana. Back there, you see a framed picture. You can't really see what it is, but it is the screen use page from episode 6 of season 1, where Ed and Gordon are flipping through the Ancana and they find the picture of Avis. I have that page framed right behind me, right up there. And on the other side of that page, of the picture of Avis, actually is a page of the Krill language, talking all about their beliefs and whatnot. I have no idea what it says. It's all in Krill. But the other side of that page is that. Oh, I gotta press some buttons. Hold on a second. Chilean Kung Fu. Oh, I love the Chilean Kung Fu. You will be hearing Jessica in my next episode, my next big episode, talking about some of that Chilean Kung Fu, and that there's a lot of action like that going on throughout the season. Ooh, a Super Chilean, kind of like Super Shredder. Super Shredder, they are babies. Making love in the afternoon with Aurelia. Up in my bedroom, making love. Don't forget to have a fork and a lollipop. Boom. It wasn't on Springfield. Were you guys talking about the Quimby? The Quimby got blowed up. I would say it got blowed up in Electric Sheep, but it originally got blowed up in Identity Part 2 during the big battle for Earth. It says, in Avis you trust, all others pay cash. We try harder. Ah, we need more sound drops from this season. Yeah, I gotta start collecting some sound drops. Like in this episode when Gordon says, oh, are we getting a pool table? He's wanting a pool table. Or may the force be with you. It's so good to use the phrase, may the force be with you, and have it not apply to the Star Wars universe. Because I much prefer talking about the Orville universe, you guys. In primary, we trust. What do we got here? I just saw something. May Avis take a liking to you and blow you up real soon. Well, you guys know how Avis do. He likes them explosions and pew-pews. And the Orville just wants to go around and get some exploration. But no, it's always pew-pews and explosions. And all they want is exploration. Wow, the YouTube is making me press a lot of buttons today. Making me approve stuff. Silly old YouTube. There is no spoon. Avis versus Primary. Now, wouldn't that be interesting? Okay, so the Krill have a deity. Okay, they're biological life forms. I can see it happening. The Kaylon are artificial. But wouldn't it be interesting if the Kaylon had a deity? It would be a very different idea of what a deity is in our minds. What if Kaylon Primary, which exists, is there? We've met him. We've talked to him. He's a dick. What if he is trying to be the Kaylon people's deity at some point? He seemed kind of like a what's the word? A megalomaniac. When we met him back in the last season. We still have not, even though we've in last week's episode, Electric Sheep, we ran into some Krill stuff. We saw some Krill stuff going on. We have not really talked to any of the Krill yet. Not the Krill, I'm sorry, you guys. The Kaylon. We ran into the Kaylon in Electric Sheep. Just a little pew-pew explosion, let's hide real quick type of thing. We have not had any discussions with the leadership of the Kaylon this season. Cannot wait to see what's up with that. Will we actually vanquish the Kaylon this season? And by vanquish, I mean vanquish the situation. Either we do vanquish them, send them off into some junkyard somewhere, or make peace with them some way, somehow. Just make them see reason, which is really, I think, all that's needed. Just help them see reason, and I think people will be okay. And I think the union will be like, okay, we're all friends now. We don't have to have a war. We don't have to have revenge, even though people are still people. Last week we saw in Electric Sheep that people are still people, which is one of the main motifs. One of the main things about the Orville that we love so much is that no matter what's going on, people are still people. They have the same faults that people from our time still have, because those are faults that I think humanity will probably have for a very long time. Certain things, when there's murder and death, you need someone to blame. At least we feel like we need someone to blame. And Isaac being the only, the closest representative of those who we should blame, people decided to focus their anger and their loss and their confusion towards Isaac after they had time to think about it. The second half of season 2, after the whole identity thing, people were both being professional, because these are professional union soldiers or union officers, and they hid their stuff, but they had time to think. They had time to think about the loss, about the betrayal, and they needed a scapegoat. As throughout humanity's history, you will see we're very prone to finding scapegoats, and that was kind of showcasing that in the previous episode. Brian Dawkins, thank you for that super chat, helping to keep the lights on, which do definitely need help keeping on. Lights, you can stay on a little bit longer. Thank you very much. Thanks to Brian Dawkins and all you lovely people who are sending those super chats. Flapjack Charlie, she likes her flapjacks. Butter, no syrup. I've known people that like their flapjacks with no syrup and just butter. So I thought that was fun. That was a very real human moment when she said that. It was such a little thing, but it's very human. I, for one, never have pancakes of any kind. I know Lieutenant Dan is not going to be very happy with that. Hey, that'd be fun. We learned about pancakes and Charlie. Dan loves pancakes, famously. Will that be a thing for him? Will Lieutenant Dan be like, hey, you like pancakes too? We should totally hang out. Can't wait to see if that happens this season, because I'm sure there's some fellas and non-fellas. There might be some lady fellas that might be interested in Charlie. And Dan, I would think, is interested in everybody. Victor Martinez, thank you very much for that super chat and super sticker. I love to see it. What do we got here? We have a hippopotamus on a computer chair. That's how some people describe me. So thank you very much, Victor Martinez. From one hippo in a computer chair to another hippo in a computer chair sticker. Thank you very much.
Sweet emotion.
Yeah, Dan is Lieutenant Dan. And it's kind of a joke on... Lieutenant Dan is a joke on Forrest Gump. You know, Forrest Gump had Lieutenant Dan, the guy with no legs, or he eventually had no legs, played by Gary Sinise. It's a joke on that, and it's hilarious. But now, to me, when I hear Lieutenant Dan, I think of Mike Henry. I never think of Gary Sinise. Rick Rarick says, I make real maple syrup. So freaking good on waffles and blueberry pancakes. Oh yeah, I've had that before. It's amazing. My grandma used to make homemade syrup. It wasn't maple syrup. It was just, homemade country syrup, probably sugar and water. I don't know how you make it, but it was so good, you guys. Crochet Kitty, long time no see. Crochet Kitty is now a Chilean brawler. Thank you for becoming an official channel member, Crochet Kitty. You got that green emblem next to your name now. And as time goes on, that emblem changes. We got red, blue, orange, purple, silver. Some of you are already silver. Are you guys talking about pancakes? That's a nice Lieutenant Dan quote there, Tom. I hope the Kaylon maintained to be a major threat to organic life going into at least season 4. To see the Kaylon encroaching on Union and Krill space would be an amazing story arc. We will have to see. Seth MacFarlane has the foresight. He knows how television works. he wants another season of the Orville. But he doesn't know if he's going to get it. And even if they do get it, he will start making it when he's ready to make it. I feel like a lot of loose ends in this season are probably going to be closed. I think we're going to find out about the Kalon. I think we might find out about Kelly and Ed. I want to see Kelly and Ed get together. I have worries about Kelly. Just because I feel, and I have no proof of this in any way, shape, or form, I feel like one of these characters that we love is going to die this season to make the ultimate sacrifice. I could say Isaac, but Isaac dies every season of the Orville, and he's died this season already. We started off with him dying. I don't think they're going to kill him again. I think Bortus has a great reason to sacrifice himself. Kelly, I think, has a great reason to sacrifice herself for the greater good. For Ed, what if Ed and Kelly get together and then we lose Kelly? What would that do to Ed? We will have to wait and see if any of that comes true. I don't want to lose anybody. I don't even want to lose Clyden. I love Clyden. Ruel F, thank you for becoming an official channel member. Welcome. You are now a Selayan Brawler. Welcome one and all to the official channel members. Now everything you write will be highlighted in green for me, so it helps me see what you guys are saying. Oh, when I hear it, Dan, I just think about the song JB did. Yeah, a long time ago, I did Lieutenant Dan Guy, which was a song parody that I did for the Orville, which of course is Billie Eilish's. It's a cover of Billie Eilish's song, I'm a Bad Guy or Bad Guy. I put Lieutenant Dan Guy, and I did a whole video and everything for it. I don't know if that's still up. I'll have to look and see. I don't know if I still have that on the channel. Last year, I took down anything that had any type of strikes on it from the YouTube gods. But maybe if it's not there, maybe I'll put it up on one of the social medias again. Hey, Victor Martinez, welcome to Lasting Impressions. I haven't even looked at the different tiers yet. I'll have to see which tier that one is. Thank you so much, Victor Martinez. You the best. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody join the Lasting Impressions. I don't even remember. I have to go and look. Like I said, thank you, Victor. You wanted the best. Yeah, I have favorites, you guys. I'm not ashamed. Shame. I feel about shame the same way I feel about crime. I'm against it. I'm against crime. I'm against shame. And I'm not afraid who knows it. No, I have no shame. Okay, I gotta take a sip. Keep my throat nice and moist. Moist. Archmage Frey, Purple Power. Pranakasha Productions, Purple Power. We got the purple powers going. Ooh, you had me at art. Killed a Rock. Currently doing some art of Isaac controlling drones, Beastmaster style, in support of the show. Going for a Giger-esque look. Ooh, I love that. Stay tuned. We'll be posting on Twitter. I will stay tuned. That sounds amazing. People that, you know, break out their colors and their little smudge sticks and all that, and they're able to make a thing. I just love it. I would love to have one of those bamboo pads where I can do that stuff on my computer. I don't know if my computer can handle it, but I would love to be able to just fine-tune certain things a lot better than I'm able to now, and put up some Orville art. Ooh, why didn't Isaac attack that monster? Very good question, Jonathan McKnight. That is a whole discussion right there. He was playing dead in a way. He was playing artificial as opposed to playing biological in order to get the monster to go. Has Isaac become a pacifist? Does he value life after the events of season 2 with the Battle for Earth? Is he trying to value life, all life, over anything else, or was he just trying to play dead? Either way, it was a very tense scene, and we don't know for sure what was going on in his mind. Was he just trying to not hurt anybody, or is he just trying to hide by being not a person, not a place, but a thing? That's a very good discussion. DX Fierce says, I think Yaphet is going to sacrifice himself or split. I liked the split idea. I don't know what they have planned. Norm Macdonald finished all of his work for New Horizons. So whatever was planned for Yaphet years before Norm Macdonald passed away will happen in this season. Now, season 4, they're going to have to do something about Yaphet. But this season, they don't have to do anything about Yaphet. And if something does happen with Yaphet, it's because it was already planned. Just by coincidence. We have 2 clues that the one to die will be Claire. Ooh. She has been the center of both episodes so far, giving her a send-off, and Isaac made the comment that she told him she would die for her kids. Will she be given that opportunity? I don't know. I, for one, feel that Kelly could have something happen to her. I just have a feeling. But Claire is a very good choice as well. Think about all the characters on the show that have something to die for. Ed has something to die for, but nothing's going to happen to Ed. Kelly, I'm sure they can come up with something easily for her to die for. Claire, Bortis, Clyden. I think Gordon's probably safe. I think John's probably safe. Dan would probably die for pancakes. Was Isaac hoping the alien could be restored to human? Possibly. At that point, we knew nothing. I love that it was not a happily resolved ending. One thing that Orville has done so well, and it's the most realistic thing the Orville can do. It's one thing I appreciate. Most endings are not happy in real life. Most things do not work out that well. If there's struggle, it's usually compromised in some way or bittersweet in some way. Unlike most sci-fi, which always says, "Oh, we fixed it at the end." Phew, good job, thank you, MacGruber. The Orville is always like leaves it kind of open, leaves it a little bit sad, like about a girl. The whole thing that happened to Topa. That was a sad ending. That's not the ending we thought we were going to get. We thought that the court case or the trial would change some minds. Gosh, there's a ton. Caliban Zoo. It was very sad that they got introduced to reality television. We know how dangerous that is. So that was sad. Mad Idolatry. We got that happy ending. But we didn't know what's going to happen to those people after Isaac leaves. Seth says it's the most fun he's ever had. I think he quit everything else before the Orville. The Orville is a huge commitment. He said it's the most fun he's ever had writing anything in his career is this season of the Orville. And when you find something like that, when you find something that makes you that happy, you do not want to just give it up if you don't have to. So he's hoping for another season if we want it. Now, I know that everyone watching right now, wants it. But we have the whole world to think about, and the whole world is not here. Not everybody who loves a thing or hates a thing gets online to talk about it one way or the other. Most do not. I mean, I love Gilmore Girls. I never looked Gilmore Girls up once on the internet, not once. So I'm sure there's a lot of that going for this property as well. So we just have to wait to see until the numbers come in. I think we'll learn one way or another in just a couple more episodes. Maybe the middle of the season, I think, would be a good time to get the results to figure out by the views of if Hulu wants to do another one of these or not, because they put a lot of money into this season, a lot, and it shows. And in order to make another season, you have to put at least that much money in, because they're not just gonna do a lesser episode next season. It's gonna be of equal quality, if not better. Bronwyn Evans, thank you for that super chat. Anyone else had to sleep with the lights on after watching this episode, or just me? I watched the episode right here on my computer with the lights off. Not even that stupid light behind me. All of it off, because Seth MacFarlane said, watch it with the lights off. It's going to be a fun, scary episode. And it was all those things. It was scary and it was fun. Thank you, Bronwyn. Brian Dawkins, does Mortality Paradox have the football field we saw in the production photos from 2019? There are some things that have been shown on the internet, possibly, that might pop up in this episode. Could be a football field. It could be a baseball field. I don't know if I've seen any baseball field stuff for the Orville. It could be some ship scenes. I'll let you guys figure it out. But we're going to talk about it. That is for dang sure. Now, I could say some stuff one way or the other, but I decided right before I started the stream, I was like, I could say this, I could say that. I could tell them exactly what episode to watch from season 1. But then I said, no, I don't like things being ruined. So I'm going to go ahead and not ruin it for you guys. Let there be some mystery. Because I watched it not knowing anything that was going to happen. And when stuff happened, I was like, oh, dang. Orville toys and merchandise for the love of Avis. Well, there's a ton of merchandise for the Orville. You go to the Hulu Orville shop, they got a ton of stuff and more stuff coming. I would like more toys. They do have some ships and figures and stuff like that. I would love legit action figures of the crew of the Orville. Oh, I hate spiders too, Anonymous. To quote another show whose fandom never gave up, 6 seasons and a movie. Oh, I think this whole community can agree with that, John Smith. Who wants at least 6 seasons and a movie? I think we're definitely, I don't know about 6 seasons. Maybe we'll get 8 instead. Sorry. But I think we have a couple movies coming up. I think a couple movies has already been talked about. What about a JP action figure? Well, the JP figure would not have much action going along with it, Zan. Someone in the Orville writer's room is a serious arachnophobe. Well, spiders are scary. If you want to do something scary, make it a little spidery. Even in season 1, Firestorm, when all that different scary stuff was happening, two of the scary things, first we had all these spiders, tarantulas crawling on the wall and dropping on Gordon's face, but we also had a giant spider monster in that episode. Now, all of that ended up being an environmental simulation. This time it's not. So spiders are scary. The Orville knows spiders are scary. Everybody's got arachnophobia. Yeah, I would have an in-action figure. That's exactly right. You can market it that way. What's up, Gina Caruso? Saludos desde Argentina. All right. Viva Argentina. Kalon Sphere, DX Sphere / Kalon Sphere says, I'm an arachnophile. Ooh, spiders scare me. I do not like spiders. Little spiders, big spiders, medium spiders, giant spiders, spider people, Spider-Man. They all scare me. Yeah, that space station was gorgeous in a horrible way. That space station, the darkness. I want to know why there was no stars in that area of space. I know visually it was just to be scary, But scientifically, why were there no visible stars in that part of space? What was it, the Colossus system or Calus system, something like that? Why was there no stars? Great to be scary. Scientifically, why? But that ship, that alien ship, that station, it wasn't even a ship, it was a station, was very ominous. And I'm sad that we lost Vice Admiral Paul Christie. He was kind of cool. I was like, who's this dude? Oh, he had a thing with Claire. Psh, what? Oh, he broke her heart. I don't like this guy, but he was cool. I was like, he seems like a good guy. He seems like a good Union officer with a sordid past that he's trying to make up for. He was trying to get jiggy with Claire to make her feel better. Because, you know, if somebody's down, you just get jiggy with them and they just feel better. Everybody knows that, right? We lost him. Now, in my upcoming episode, my big episode of Shadow Realms coming up, we talk a little bit more about Paul Christie and the actor James Reed who played him. So if you want to get the trivia question right in the next episode, just look him up a little bit, see what you think. Yes, I actually would probably prefer Orville Funko Pops more than anything else, Chainhelm, you have spoken to my heart. I thank you very much. I appreciate it. Funko Pops is what I want. That is what I will buy and display. Just some big-headed, little-bodied crew of the Orville. Put them right on that shelf right back there so everybody can see them. Gina wants Alara back. Halston Sage. Will we see Halston Sage this season? We have 8 more episodes to find out. Will we see her next week? You're just going to have to tune in to the Orville New Horizons to find out. Yeah, Isaac knows Claire's favorite positions. But Paul didn't want to talk about that, did he? JP Teddy Bear. Aww. Now, Gina Crusoe, a lot of us would like Alara back. Now, I prefer Tala. As far as the chief of security goes, I like Tala. I would like to know a little bit more about her life. Just like now, we didn't at first, but by the end, we knew more about Alara's life. I would like to know a little bit more about Tala, because I do prefer her. I believe her a little bit more as the chief of security. Though it's always fun to see Alara, right? Halston Sage with Ann Winters on set would be a bit awkward, LOL. I don't know. I've met Ann. Ann is great. She's a really cool person. She's a good person from what I've seen. I'm sure Halston Sage is a good person. I think they're both the same age. I want to meet Seth MacFarlane. Call me Kalon Sphere, by the way. All right, Kalon Sphere. It has been, well, that's what we used to call you. So we'll stick with Kalon Sphere. I added it to my name specifically for these chats. Oh, thanks, Kalon Sphere. I used to be Kalon's primary, didn't it? Yes. Thank you, Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins says we lost Dr. Park. Well, Nurse Park. We didn't see that we lost Nurse Park, but I assume that we did. And Nurse Park has been around since the beginning. I'm very sad about that. It's always great to see. We lost. Now we did see Nurse Park get killed in Firestorm in season 1, but that was fake. That wasn't real. Now I know it was real. So I hope. I mean, he could have gotten away. He could have. We just saw him get scared. Maybe he ran and hid and didn't get attacked. Maybe the Spider-Man's little mucus changing ability didn't develop quite yet. So maybe Nurse Park was able to fight his way to safety. I hope he did. Now that other guy in the mess hall that got exploded in the face by the mucus and turned into a spider, I don't care about him. Nobody cares about that guy. We all hate that guy. F that guy. But Nurse Park, I hope Nurse Park is okay. Anonymous, thank you very much for that super chat. Help to keep the lights on. I have a 16, what is that? I want to say foot. Is that inch? A Cintiq, if you need one. I'm going to say inch. I got it in 2020. I follow you on Twitter. You can DM me. All right, Anonymous. Cintiq. Cintiq. What's Cintiq? I don't know words. Well, I won't, Penny J, I won't say exactly what episode it is. If the Stars Should Appear is a great episode. In fact, it was my... Now, here is a JP. For those of you who are hardcore, the episode you should watch is the episode that became my favorite episode of season 1 after If the Stars Should Appear. Because If the Stars Should Appear used to be my favorite episode of season 1, but then another episode became my favorite episode. What? That is the episode you should watch. So many crew become bug people. We have no idea. They're definitely at least a handful. Inky became some spider people. Spider people, spider people. Going to the ship to worship at their steeple. I don't know. It rhymed with people. Just watch Nurse Park come back as if nothing happened. I would be okay if Nurse Park came back as if nothing happened, just assuming that he was able to fight his way to safety. Because that's what you would have to assume. That's what happened. If you see him, now no one would mention anything about it because they've already mentioned it earlier on. We forget time passes between these episodes and within episodes. Some people are talking as if the Muska scene at the end of the episode took place like 5 minutes later. No, time had passed. That's why they had the whole slow ship transition at the end of the episode. And the fact that the admirals had time to put a new decree on exploration in that part of space. That means time had passed when people were back to business and back to having quiet, demure dinners at Muska's. A lot of people think it just happened 30 seconds later. Weird. But it's obvious that time had passed by the time we get to that Muska scene at the end of the episode. Curtis Tate, member of this channel for 30 months. You are the Slayaniest brawler of all the Slayan brawlers, Curtis Tate. Ann Winters is on Brian Baumgartner's podcast. Awesome. She is good to chat to. She's fun. She's informative about the character. And she's good people. I hung out with her a little bit, her and her mom. What was that, 2 weeks ago? Good people. She comes from good people. I've talked to her father as well. He seems like good people. So she comes from good people. She seems like very good people, I do have to say. We should be loving Ann Winters. I cannot wait to see Charlie Burke's a story arc over the season. I do know that her and Isaac are going to have some more run-ins this season. Can't wait to see what type of run-ins they are. Robin Markowitz, thank you for that super chat very much. Isaac's confrontation was the coolest scene in the episode. It was very tense, wasn't it? And gave Mark Jackson another chance to flex his considerable acting chops. Make my day. Make my day, as Isaac would say. I met Mark just 2 weeks ago in LA. Also, very good people, very sweet man. Talked to him just for a little bit. He said it was nice to meet me, and then he went and did his stuff. I'm hoping to talk to Mark again very soon. I'm also I'm also hoping, I'm in the works to try to get Jessica Zor again. I would like to go further in depth in Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I'd like to get herder into Johnny Depp. No, that sounded dirty. No, I'm trying to work out meeting up with Jessica Zor again to have another interview. sooner than later, hopefully next week. Now that I did not know Curtis Tate. Curtis Tate says, I learned that Ann Winters is from Texas too. That's awesome. I had no idea where she's from. I didn't even look into it. Challenger is from Texas, but is now living in Iowa. Well, I'm from California, but I'm living in Oklahoma. I like it here, though. Every time I go back to LA, which I just went 2 weeks ago, I'm always like, I'm looking forward to going back home to Oklahoma. I consider it my home now. I like the carpets. Did the characters act like dum-dums because that's what horror movie characters do? I don't know. I didn't see them act like dum-dums. I've seen people say stuff about dum-dums, but I've had an explanation for everything. But if they did act like dum-dums, it's probably because that's what you do in horror movies. Atheist for the cause. Wisconsinite here. Over in Wisconsin, eh? Now, I do know that there was a scene this season, and I think it's from the episode that got dropped this season. We were originally supposed to have 11 episodes. We're getting 10 episodes. Still about the same amount of footage as in season 2, just with less episodes, but big, longer episodes, as you guys have already seen. Shadow Realms was 65 minutes. Electric Sheep was 75 minutes. I do know there's an episode coming up this season. I know exactly what episode it is. That's almost 90 minutes. This is a big season, you guys. But I do know there was an episode we were supposed to film in the Ukraine. They were not able to film in the Ukraine because there's a war going on. So they weren't able to do it. I'm so worried about the next episode, Mortality Paradox, coming before Gently Falling Rain. Makes me worry they kill off Isaac for good. Don't hurt my precious boy. Nah, I think Isaac is safe. They already killed him last week. If you're from Texas, you're all right in my book. Says, is it Chalagar? Rachel McFarlane should make an appearance in the Orville. That would be nice. Now, FYI, we don't get her very often, but the voice of the computer on the Orville is Rachel McFarlane. A lot of people don't know that, but it would be great to see her as well, as opposed to just hear her. I did see Rachel McFarlane 2 weeks ago as well at the Orville Premiere. I did not meet her, but I did see her. I was standing right next to her. She had her group of people with her, and they're having a big conversation. I had a bunch of people I was navigating as well, so. But I saw her there. I recognized her. Yeah, the old war in Ukraine excuse. That's probably going to be a lot of excuses for a long while now. Yeah, we had this whole scene planned out in the Ukraine, but we couldn't obviously film it, so we just had to film it at golf and stuff. Oh, she's the voice of Haley in American Dad. A lot more Norm coming up, you guys. Hello from Parkersburg, West Virginia. Remember Star Trek TNG Identity Crisis, where the crew from a previous away mission was being genetically altered and Mysterious were disappearing? Do I remember that? I'm sure I do. I'm sure I remember that, but I'm having a hard time getting scenes in my brain right now. But yeah, Identity Crisis. I remember something about it. Oh, yes. I do remember now. Scenes are flowing in. Jack Sparrow cameo on the Orville season 4. Hey, let's hope that they got one for season 3. The computer could become a hologram and take over the shop. The computer can become a hologram. Yeah, let's get some holograms off of the environmental simulator. Just don't let Borders have anything to do with it. I know it's a long shot, but I would love one more appearance by Norm in his Oh, hologram form from the season. Oh, you never know. Norm Macdonald finished all of his work. If they planned on showing his true form, once again, it is going to happen. I just don't know if they wrote that into the script. It was a great surprise last season, wasn't it? Oh, CH as in school. So, Callagher. I know when Claire leaves sickbay, they leave the entrance to sickbay open. It gets very aliens, but they don't put on safety equipment. Yeah, that was a little weird. I think doors were open in parts of the ship, in all parts of the ship in this episode for the scare factor. I definitely think that was for the scare factor. For us, the audience, to think, oh my God, something can jump in at any point. Even with the scene with the bridge, when Claire brings the boys to the bridge for safety, that door stays open. And I'm like, it's usually not like that. It's not always open all the time. They would usually close it. I'm like, oh, that's to make us scared that anything can happen. Yeah, they've killed Isaac a bunch of times. They killed Isaac in the Priya episode. They killed Isaac in Identity Part 1. In Part 2, technically, they had to bring him back to life because of the EMP pulse. And then they killed him again in Electric Sheep. Now, of course, he was... Well, no, he wasn't. It was in The Row Not Taken. They brought back an Isaac, but it was just a Kalon head that they had, that John got the Isaac's consciousness from the neural network of the Kalon and pulled out Isaac and brought it into that Kalon head to get some information out. Yeah, Isaac's basically Kenny. What's up, General Pedrosky? What's going on? Hey, JP, passing by to say hi, and great job on the videos. Thank you. I got a lot of videos to do of every type of variety when it comes to the Orville for this summer. Any idea that comes to my head, I try to bring it out if I can do it. I'm actually a few days late on the latest companion episode because I'm not in a hurry. Because also, the longer that I wait, the more information I get to include in the episode. Like just today, I found out more about the arachnid race that we met in Shadow Realms. So I'm going to be including that into the upcoming episode, as well as some behind-the-scenes footage. Don't you mean they killed Isaac in the Gordon Needs a Leg Up episode? Yeah, he was pulling his leg. Yeah, that was the episode. That's the Priya episode. Episode 5, Season 1. Hey, they killed Isaac. You bastards. How many hours per week do you spend on the Orville, JB? Oh, God, Ruel. I spend almost all day, every day. At least Monday through Friday. Usually on the weekends as well. But I've been trying the last couple weeks to not even come into this room during the weekends, because when you do a YouTube channel, you lose time for yourself. So I never do things for myself anymore, because when you do something like this, you can always be working, and if you're not always working, you're getting behind. So I very rarely do. I can't watch other movies or TV shows without feeling like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I can't play video games without feeling bad, like I should be doing something here in this room on my computer. So that is one of the trade-offs when you do a channel, is you lose yourself a little. You lose anything for yourself, really. Luckily, I have you guys to talk to, and that is fun. So when I'm talking to you, I feel like I'm doing something for myself, which is great. Geolaw, member for 30 months as well. Oh, we got a 30-month challenge going on. Geologia Squad. Oh, the Geologia Squad. Isaac has died so many times. Are we sure he isn't played by Sean Bean? Poor Sean Bean. Uh, uh, Winter is coming. It came and went. He also got his ass handed to him by Middle Earth. And was he in Silent Hill, one of the Silent Hill movies? The first one, wasn't he? Oh, I loved Silent Hill back in the day. The first three were just great. Yeah, I'm always Orville, and if I'm not creating something, I'm creating something simple, at least for social media. But I'm always working on it at all times, or keeping tabs on the videos and the channel and the thumbnails. And just because you make a thumbnail for a video doesn't mean you're not going to have to make another thumbnail for that same video weeks later. You have to keep up on everything. And when you're a one-man show, you have to do every single thing, and there is a lot to do. When they reset the computer in Babylon 5, Harlan Ellison voiced a very annoyed computer acting with Michael Garibaldi. JP, Rachel and Seth idea? Oh gosh, I don't know, John Burns. Michael Garibaldi. Garibaldi. Love that name, Garibaldi. Maybe Isaac should change his name to Kenny. He could. Is there a famous scientist named Kenny? He's currently named after Isaac Newton. It's not a cookie. It's a Newton. What did Isaac sing to Yaphet? I got you under my skin. I got you deep inside of me. JP, the Orville Stalker. That is valid, Dax. I am the Orville Stalker. I'm always going on to everybody from the Orville's social medias just to find anything. I'm sent things by the Orville. I'm deep diving into episodes. I'm making memes, I'm making thumbnails, I'm making videos, I'm writing scripts. I just got done writing the script for my latest episode today and gathering some more information that I have to include into that script. So I'll be adding that tomorrow, and I have to make some changes to this room so that I can film the next episode without this stupid light reflecting in my glasses. I have a light, boop, key light right there. It's a rectangular box, and you guys can always see it it's right there. That's my light. I have two lights. There's one over here too, but that one doesn't reflect in my glasses because I'm looking this way. This one I have no option for. I have to go out of my way and ruin the flow of this room to put that light somewhere else. It's going to be a pain in the booty. Mark Trammell, what's going on? But name himself Kenny after Loggins. The pterodon scene from Electric Sheep last week, the whole pterodon, Gordon flying it through and everybody checking out. When that was done with Brandon Fayette, who was just here a little while ago, when that was originally done, they did all the effects for it, or the previous effects for it, and they set it to the song by Kenny Loggins, Danger Zone. They set it to Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, and they showed it to Seth to see if that's what he wanted to show him the effects for the new pterodon. So when Seth first saw the pterodon to see if he wanted it for the show, it was set to Danger Zone. Highway to the Danger Zone. And I don't know of anything that's been presented to anyone with the song Danger Zone that did not get greenlit. Danger Zone is the song that you use if you want to get something greenlit. Will Isaac be the last Kalon? That also is a very good question, Jonathan McKnight. What if we destroy the Kalon, I don't know, do a virus, explode them in their faces, blow up the whole planet, or they blow themselves up, something like that, and Isaac is the last of his kind? It's not going to matter too much to him in the long run because he is basically now the last of his kind. He's not allowed with his people to ever see his people again. Humanity is the only people that accept him, and that's not even a 100% thing. So he's kind of probably dealing with the fact that he kind of is the last Kalon right now, just not literally, metaphorically. Yeah, Top Gun Maverick is doing incredibly well. I have not seen it. Not really even that interested in seeing it. I'm one of the few people, I don't care about Top Gun. I never did, even when it was new. I didn't care about it. Everyone that I hated loved that movie, so I probably didn't see that movie just because I didn't like the people that liked that movie back in the day. But I hear it's a great movie. Top Gun's a great movie. I just never was like into it. Like, oh my god, Tom Cruise and jets. Just never my thing. I don't know why. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just not my thing. I don't like aircraft that's not from a couple hundred years in the future. That's probably what the problem was. I grew up on Star Trek with like space ships and stuff that a regular jet just never impressed me. It's got danger in the name. What'd you expect? But I hear Maverick is, people are just loving it. They're showing up in cosplay to go see it. Real terrible person to drive someone to suicide, then feel like they're the victim still. Yeah, it's very complicated. I hate the new character. She looks like Amber Turd. Actually, she looks like Madonna. If you look at her Instagram account, there was a time where I think it was probably for a project. They were dressing her, doing her makeup like Madonna for some sort of project. Wow, you cannot tell the difference. But no, Ann Winters is good people. Hung out with her a little bit a couple weeks ago. She is a very nice person. But I can tell you, the character, you are meant, as a viewer, you are meant to be conflicted when it comes to her, because she does not like somebody that you do like. And she is meant to be a divisive character, just like Clyden is meant to be a divisive character. But behind the character, I can tell you she's a very nice person. Aisling, so sorry. I'll just say Salisbury. You and me both. Top Gun only had great cinematography and a soundtrack. That's it. I will say I do like the Top Gun soundtrack. I don't know. I think modern day military stuff just never appealed to me. Not that it's not awesome. People love it. They have great reasons to love it. I was just so science fiction based, and I saw so much futuristic stuff. I never liked modern day stuff. I don't like modern day war games. I don't care about Call of Duty, but I think there's a futuristic one that's more my style. I like futuristic stuff. What can I say? I didn't care much about 1985 and Back to the Future or 1955, but I loved all the 2015 stuff. But now even that's old news, right? Bored of singing. I want to see Isaac sing. Or bored of sing, really. I do know. Now, if Isaac sang, it would just be a recording that he played. You know, he can play recordings, just like he did in Into the Fold when he played Claire's voice to tell the kids a bedtime story. Bortus, I do know, steps up to the mic this season. We're going to see something from Bortus, but what does step up to the mic mean? Those are the literal words that John Cassar said about Bortus this season, that he does step up to the mic. But we don't know what that means. Does he give a speech? Does he give a wedding ceremony speech? Do Ed and Kelly get married this season? I feel it's a possibility. That whole scene in season 3, or not season 3, the whole thing in the New Horizons trailer that came out a month or two ago, where Kelly says it's like yesterday was a different time and everything's different on this side of time, something like that. I feel that is after her and Ed get married, but I don't know. That's just me guessing. Taking the dialogue, thinking about what all the different things it could mean. Do Ed and Kelly get married? Does Bortus give a speech at their reception? Or does he get up and do some jokes like Data did in TNG? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. But that is something that I do not, as of yet, know. But I'm very much thinking about and very much looking forward to finding out the truth about. You will be silent! Who will play JP in the JP biopic? I'm hoping for Nicolas Cage. Get a beard on Nicolas Cage, shave his head, put a hat on it. I think Nicolas Cage would be perfect to play JP. Does he eat the mic? Does he step up to a microphone and eat it? Does he step up to a guy named Mike and eat Mike? It could go either way with Bortus. Yeah, what if it's karaoke? That'd be what we want. We want to hear him sing. That's the one thing we want. Yeah, I would love to hear his rendition of My Heart Will Go On. But I will settle for A Whole New World from the Aladdin soundtrack. A whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes. Or Clyden, it's a duet with Clyden. Don't you dare close your eyes, Bortus. Okay, we need a shore leave Orville episode where they hang out on the Princess Bride planet. Oh, it would be great if we had different planets for different movies. I'd hang out on the Princess Bride planet. I would just stay away from the fire swamps. Bortus sings the song Insensitive to Clyden or Isaac. Did anyone else think Bortus was going to eat the metal holder on the table in this episode? I'll have to double check that out. I was going to actually watch the latest episode with Jessica. She wants to watch it. She hasn't seen it yet. Ooh, a steampunk planet. Have we seen true steampunk in live action form on anything yet? In a good way? I've seen steampunk in a lot of video games. I'd love to see a true, legit steampunk thing going on in a movie. Yes, he sniffed it and recoiled slightly. I thought it was going to be his mouth, going in his mouth. You never know with Clyden. He puts stuff in his mouth. He puts stuff in a lot of places from what I've seen with Bortus. Once upon a time. All right, you guys. It is 8:30 here in my part of the timeline, and I'm gonna be going to get settled for bed. I go to bed pretty early so that I can get up pretty early. Last night was pretty great. I went to bed really early, like 9, and I slept almost through the whole night until I got up like at 5:30. I couldn't believe it. I got up, I woke up, and I thought it was like maybe 1 or 2 because it happens a lot, but no, it was like 5:30. I was so surprised. All right, you guys, I'll see you very soon. I'm so happy to have talked to you guys. I was kind of down and out today, and talking to you guys really makes me feel a lot better. Makes me feel, revitalized to do some more Orville stuff. I still got to finish this Shadow Realms episode, companion episode for everybody now and in the future. And then once that's done, we move on to Mortality Paradox. Don't forget your homework. There is an even numbered episode of season 1 that you guys might want to watch in order to refresh yourself of what's going to happen in the next episode of New Horizons Mortality Paradox. I'll see you guys very soon. And as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times and Orville-tastic fun times. Love you. Bye-bye.